What is a staff engineer? That is the answer for you who wants to keep advancing your career if without being a manager. A staff engineer is a software engineer who has a high technical capability, knows around software architecture, software design, good practice, and so on. And beyond that, is capable to communicate, lead, and mentoring other people. Indeed, a staff engineer is the person or the bridge between the management and the engineering team. So someone who will inspire another engineer and also to facilitate the communication. This terminology is not for us in IT. Indeed, it is old. So the first usage of this staff engineer belongs to the Navy. Initially, the British Navy in 1885 and then the US Navy in 1892. So the goal was to lead complex projects like delivery a ship. As they succeeded doing that, more organizations, more countries start to use that. And then after the Will Larson book, the staff engineer, leadership beyond management, this terminology increased the popularity. So initially it was more around companies who were building technology. Right now we can see more often more organizations using those terminologies. However, even with this amazing book, there are a couple of misunderstandings about how to apply a staff engineer chair. The first mistake is naturally it is not a natural next step to senior, especially because yes, both senior and staff both are capable of writing code, writing good practice, and so on. However, the staff engineer is the one who is capable also to mentoring, elevate the skill of the team, think about next step, define architecture, define strategy, and so on. So it is not only about the code, but also about the communication between the team, the C-levels, and so on. When we talk about the staff engineer, we have, let's say, a ranking. So after senior, usually people has the staff. So it's one step beyond. And then we have a principal engineer. We can think more about a director of technology. Then we have the distinguished engineer that is one step ahead. And there are huge organizations that has the fellow engineer. So the goal is naturally be and has an alignment between the management and the software engineering. So the staff might have the same level of a senior manager, then principal of director, distinguished of a VP, and fellow as a senior VP, and so on. So naturally, there is no standard around career. Naturally, every organization might have a different terminology or ranking inside the organization. For example, the organization who has the senior staff, senior principal, senior distinguished, and so on. And naturally, when we discuss staff engineer and management path, we start discussing the difference. So usually, the manager will handle more the process, budget, hiring process, and so on. And the staff engineer will have more technologies aspect, evaluate people, review the technical review, help in the technical process, and so on. Indeed, both must work together. Given that, to start and understand more about what staff engineer is, my recommendation is starting reading the Will Larson book, where it explains more about what is the companies that are using staff engineer terminology right now, how those companies are working, plus the archetype. And then we have the Tanya book that is amazing if you are in the seat as staff engineer. One thing that you're gonna see is those books, they don't mention any single line of code. So You won't see any Java code, C# code, .NET code, and so on. Especially because the idea of those books is explain more about the leadership. Naturally, as staff engineer, you will have your expertise and specializations. Those books will cover more the communication, how to handle the culture map, and especially how to measure your impact. Especially because when you got the seat, it's not about your impact anymore. It's more about how you can impact the whole team as staff engineer. That is it for today. Hopefully you enjoy. And if you want to become a better software engineer and software architect, please subscribe in my channel.